welcome to Griffon Update. I'm Blair Russell.
And I'm Tyler Goen. Griffon Update is our student-produced digital magazine show bringing you news, sports, and information from Missouri Western State University and the surrounding region.
During each program, we will present an in-depth look at the people, places, and events that make Missouri Western and the Northwest region of Missouri a great place to call home.
On today's show, we'll take you through a tour of Western's Career Development Center to learn the many ways in which mentors there assist students in finding jobs on and off campus.
We'll also draw on the issue of tattoos and how having them could impact you in the workplace.
And of course, Amari Martin will join us for a sports report.
But first, let's learn more about a local hotspot here in town that offers a variety of entertainment like live music and karaoke. Reporter Tommy Marshall has the story.
Cafe Acoustic is a St. Joseph staple. The popular music venue has been entertaining audiences for years with live music, karaoke, and open mic nights. They also have a fine selection of food and drinks to choose from. The cafe left its old location at 2605 Frederick because owners Christina and Steve Grimes wanted something more for the business. After a brief period of being closed, Cafe Acoustic is back, and they're located right next door to the historic D&G restaurant.
We were up the road 2605 Frederick for 7 years. My friends owned it 10 years prior. And we produced over 1,500 shows in 7 years on that tiny stage. It was a great atmosphere and great room. Acoustics were absolutely amazing in there. We loved every part about it. We just simply outgrew the space. With the talent we're wanting to bring in, with the crowds that were coming on the weekends, we are out of space. So an opportunity come along for us to buy the old historic D&G here in St. Joe. It's been around for over 100 years, and we just felt that was the best place for us. It had a room off to the side that Steve saw the vision of being able to transform it into the new Cafe Acoustic, and he wanted to call it a concert hall, because that's exactly what it is. So that's how the transformation happened, and we spent 10 months constructing the new venue, which, as you can hear right there it is. And here we are. So we're back, 10-month hiatus of live music, and we're back.
While the new room is big enough for big acts, Christina says that the locals are the focus.
Booking all the local talents, we're dedicating all of our shows to the locals for the first several months. As I get back into the habit of getting all the bookings in for all the touring bands and all that jazz. So look forward to big shows and all your local favorites around.
Constructing the new area was no small task, but Steve and Christina had big visions for it.
The vision behind it at first, Steve wanted a proper stage for the musicians to be able to play on, because for 7 years we had such a small area for them that they made work, but we wanted to give them something much better. So Steve custom built the stage, and that was the first part, was getting the stage done. Then we built everything else around it.
Although Cafe Acoustic is back, the owners pay special attention to the D&G as well.
Bringing back some of those original items that St. Joe has known and for so many years that they wanted back, so here they are. But then, it is 2016, so I wanted to put a spin on things. I wanted to put new menu items out there that myself and my head chef has created in-house to give people other options. You can go anywhere in town and get a burger, anywhere in town and get a tenderloin. But is it going to be a fresh hand-cut tenderloin per order and hand-battered and fried to order? So that makes a big difference with the quality of the product that we're putting out.
With a new space, new equipment, and the historic D&G right next door, the only way to go is up.
We're just going to keep growing. We have the space to do that now. Before, we didn't have the space. We went from 2 parking spots to 72 parking spots. We actually have room for people to park and enjoy without worrying about their cars being towed, and all the space and seats available to be able to serve amazing food to people. Just because it's a pub, people have this misconception in their head that if pub food and bar food has to just be frozen products dropped in a fryer and put on a plate. It's not the case here. We serve everything made from scratch recipes, and our bartenders are all classic cocktail trained, so you can actually get true cocktails here instead of your normal rum and coke that most people go out they don't know what to order, so they get a rum and coke or whiskey and coke. Well, we want to bring fresh whiskey sours and old fashions back to style, and cucumber Tom Collins and all the fresh ingredients that we like to use in our cocktails. We make our syrups in-house, and we just want to bring something new, bigger, and better to everybody, because you can get the standard everywhere. We're taking it to the next level.
I'm Tommy Marshall, reporting.
Thanks, Tommy. That place looks really cool.
Oh yeah, I've always known about the D&G restaurant. I just had no idea that they had it here.
Well, hey, now you know.
That's right. So Tyler, do you know any of the international students here on campus?
I know a few. Why?
Well, because the 5th annual International Fair took place not too long ago, and from what I heard, it was a really big hit.
Oh yeah. I really wanted to go to it because it seems like a great way to connect with the international student population.
It really is. Reporter Jasmine Taylor was actually there and can tell us more.
Missouri Western held its 5th annual International Fair on November 14th. Students and guests had the opportunity to sample foods and talk to students from countries around the world without the traveling expenses. The fair is a great way for students to learn about other cultures and practices from other countries.
It'll teach them how to try to, I would say, build good relationship, accept others, accept the difference, learn about other cultures, and not just be on your own, and mostly to accept others, no matter the differences.
Over 20 countries were represented at the fair. Each country had a variety of visuals, from posters to pamphlets and even videos. There were many performances throughout the event for guests to enjoy, such as singing, dancing, and instrumental selections.
It makes everyone kind of aware of what the world really is, and just talking from people that actually are from that country, it's a different thing than someone actually like maybe just representing the country because they like the country, but it's a different thing when you have an aspect from the actual person. So it's, next year come, have fun, and of course, we're more than happy to with open arms.
Not only were American students able to learn something new, but international students learned new things as well. Some didn't realize the cultural differences until they actually came to Western.
Back home, Saudi Arabia is based on Islamic laws. So Islamic laws is way different than here. For example, back home, women do stuff separately than men, even in schools. There's school for women, school for men. When I came here, this is way different. We all together, same room, same teacher. And yeah, this is a huge difference.
For Griffon Update, I'm Jasmine Taylor.
Wow, it looked like a great turnout.
Sure did, and I bet that food was really good.
Oh yeah. For more information on when you can catch the next International Fair, visit missouriwestern.edu. We're actually going to take a quick break and be right back.
Welcome back. Hey Tyler, do you have any tattoos?
I've got 7. Why?
Well, I recently learned that having tattoos could impact you in the workplace and even determine whether or not you get hired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, reporter Jesse Edson has the story and can tell us more.
Taylor Porter, a junior at Missouri Western, has 2 tattoos. One represents her battle with childhood cancer, and the other honors a friend she lost to the same illness. Despite the deep meanings behind her body art, Porter has been asked to cover these tattoos for many jobs.
About it. I have to keep my hair over this one, and then I have to put a Band-Aid or like some sort of wrap over this one, and I have to put a Band-Aid or a clear nose ring in. Right. It kind of upsets me just because, like, I know like my tattoos aren't anything bad. They're not like meanings that like people wouldn't want to see or somebody would be offended by them. But
Porter is not alone in this experience. According to CareerBuilder.com, 31% of human resource managers say visible body art negatively affected their hiring decisions. 67% of employees feel that their body art hindered them during an interview. According to Kaylin Taylor, director of Missouri Western's Career Development Center, she has seen a number of students affected by their body art.
I've also seen an adult who is an alumni have an experience because they had a suit and tie on, and part of their tattoo could be seen on their neck. Just a minimal part of it. But that was also when they called back for feedback. That was what really was negative.
Even those doing the tattooing keep potential careers in mind. Owner of independent tattoo company Nick Spencer says his shop keeps this in mind when tattooing customers.
We consider certain tattoos job stoppers, or what we call them, and that would be a tattoo you can't cover, like one on the face, one on the neck, the hands, anywhere like that.
While views on tattoos and piercings may still affect those seeking a job, they are not as strong as they once were.
If it were 25 years ago, you wouldn't even dream of having a gauge or piercing or double piercing, or even which ear would we have pierced, back in the day, if we were men, women, whomever it was, or however we identified. Today it is very different. It's not only individuality, but it's starting to be able to be an approach to life. It's the outward motivation of who you are internally.
For Porter, a change in social views would be welcomed.
so I'd like to see the culture kind of shift to where it doesn't matter if you have tattoos or not, you shouldn't have to cover them up, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
For Griffon Update, this is Jessica Edson.
Thanks, Jesse. That's really interesting. I'm definitely going to have to remember those helpful hints and statistics.
Yeah, they're good things to keep in mind, especially when they affect the workplace.
True. Speaking of jobs, have you ever taken advantage of the Career Development Center we have here on campus?
Yeah, a couple times. They're always eager to help me.
Oh, that's good. Reporter Jess Kopp was there as well and can tell us in more detail how the center can be of help to students.
Looking for a job can be intimidating but also rewarding. Western's Career Development Center is here to help with their task in many different ways.
We can help them over the phone, we can help them over email, we can also schedule appointments and help them on the computers over there. They can come in and schedule an appointment, or they can schedule an appointment through email and phone, and then they can come through on that day, and we'll help them on the computers they sign in, and we'll sit down with them and help them with their resumes or cover letters.
The center also helps students to find part-time jobs.
We're looking for on-campus jobs. Most of them are freshmen, and most of the students that come in for resume help are also doing the resumes for University 101.
But students looking for full-time jobs find support as well.
Most of the time it's older students, more juniors and upperclassmen. They come in looking for off-campus jobs.
Students often need help with their resumes, and the mentors see the same mistakes over and over again.
One of the main things I see is, instead of bullet pointing job descriptions or other information, students will just list out like in a big sentence or stuff. So I think the main thing is to make it neat and easy to read, rather than the employer kind of like searching through it and just being kind of confused because all the information is just jumbled up. So
students who want to create a new resume can use the resume templates on the Griffons for Hire portal, formerly known as Griffon Link. The portal can be accessed through Gold Link and offers many features.
we kind of revamped like the whole outlook of it. We changed the headers on all the websites. We changed the name. We changed a little bit of our policies, the way we do things. So the Griffons for Hire website, a student gets an active profile directly after 24 hours after registering for classes, and they will submit their resume into the portal, and each student gets one revision. And then after that one revision, they're either approved or they can schedule a one-on-one revision with us. And then once that resume is done and approved, then they can start applying for on and off-campus jobs through our site.
Students can search for jobs and refine their search to find a job that fits their needs. The portal also offers other application materials, samples, and resources for off and on-campus employment. The portal has advantages for employers as well.
It's easy to use, so they can connect with current students and recent alumni. Just through our site, like quick and easy. It allows the student and alumni to find like a job right upon graduation, and they can hopefully stay with that company long term. I mean, it's a nice and easy way to find new candidates for their position. So.
The center also organizes job fairs that allow students to meet employers in person.
Yeah, we organize a lot of career fairs, and recently we've changed them to major specific, so employers and students can connect easier rather than going to a job fair and having like many different majors in many different fields. We can combine like major specific to make it much easier.
This was Jessica Cobb.
Thanks, Jess. It probably wouldn't hurt for me to go down there and get some help with my own resume.
I hear that. I want to be as prepared as possible when I go looking for a job, and a good resume is step number one.
Exactly. I mean, let's face it, if I don't have a good job, I can't take my girlfriend out for Valentine's Day, and that's just not acceptable.
You got that right. Well, the Student Athletic Advisory Committee put on their second annual kickball tournament recently to raise money for Make-A-Wish. Reporter Bailey Ketchum has the story.
It was all fun and games at the second annual kickball tournament put on by the Student Athlete Advisory Committee to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
So Make-A-Wish is like our foundation that we kind of fundraise for and collect money for, and this was another thing on top of dodgeball that we wanted to do, and we definitely think it brings a lot of athletes in, so it gets everyone together and having a good time.
The competition was at an all-time high as the sport teams on campus came out to battle in a round-robin tournament. The competition varied from boys versus girls, girls versus girls, and teammates versus teammates.
Some of the people were getting a little feisty towards the end. I wasn't necessarily the best umpire maybe, but that's what makes it fun, you know, people getting on my head and then people making mistakes, so they start yelling at their teammates and whatnot, and it's just fun to see that.
And unfortunately, we didn't have as many teams show up this year, but it was still a good come out, and we still raised money for Make-A-Wish, and that was the whole point of it, was to make money for Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish was chosen a long time ago. I think SAC in general has chosen Make-A-Wish as their charity because it's well known and it's really easy, and it's like awesome to be raising money for a kid who really wants it.
It's fun, you know, it's a competitive thing, and a lot of athletes were involved tonight, and it's something that gets people fired up, and it's something besides their sport that they can compete in and come out here and have some fun.
There were some big plays. There was a couple like diving catches that we had, so that was fun. That we can take what we do on the softball field onto kickball. That was fun.
After the games ended, friends went back to being friends, and teammates were teammates again, because it was all for a good cause. SAC will continue to put on events for students throughout the year for Make-A-Wish and other charity foundations. This is Bailey Ketchum, reporting for Griffon Update.
Man, I love kickball. That looked like a good game.
It was a good game, and it was for a good cause, which makes it even better. So Tyler, do you think guns will ever be allowed on campus?
I don't know. Why?
Well, if it ever comes to that day, it'd be nice to know the policy and how students would react, don't you think? Executive producer Heather Gronke has the story.
Gun control on college campuses. It is Missouri Western's current position that guns not be allowed on campus. There are no colleges in the state that allow guns at this time, but Missouri Western's risk manager, Tim Kissick, assured me that if guns were ever permitted on campus, Missouri Western would adjust and conform in good faith.
Right now, the way the law currently stands, guns would be allowed on campus if the Board of Governors were to allow them. There does not seem to be any support from the Board of Governors to allow guns on campus. I don't know of a single public college in Missouri that does. If there's a change to the legislation that requires us to allow guns on campus, we will certainly abide by it. We'll have to, and we'll do it in good faith. And we'll make whatever accommodations or whatever we need to do to make it work.
Kissick shares with me the reason why Missouri Western does not allow guns on campus.
We really don't think it will enhance the educational experience. I think there's other factors that come into place other than just the active shooter debate. Certainly you have the issue of gun accidents, and a major issue that doesn't get talked about enough is suicides. And I just don't believe that we're helping that situation by having ready access to guns all over campus.
Missouri Western student T.J. Thompson agrees with Kissick on this issue, but also sees the benefit in having guns on campus.
So gun control on campus could be helpful, and it could also be hurtful because you have those kids that don't feel like there's any other option, but you also have those people that would be really responsible with a gun.
Missouri Western student Tyree Graves feels that the allowance of guns on campus would definitely aid in feelings of safety among the student body.
At nighttime, if you have to walk somewhere, most people nowadays will feel a little scared because it's dark, they don't have nothing, no weapon on them or anything. So if a gun law was passed, I feel like more people would be more safer to get from point A to point B without having to worry about if something's going to happen to them or not. So in my eyes, I feel like it'd be a good law to pass.
Lakota Go, however, has an opposing view when it comes to universities allowing guns on campus.
I don't think it'd be a good idea for kids to carry guns on campus. I mean, it's just not safe. People say that guns are the problem, but honestly, it's the people that have the problems. We control what we do with the guns, and it's just not a safe environment for students on campus.
Graves shared with me his personal opinion on if a law was ever passed to allow guns on campus, would he himself take advantage of carrying a gun?
I believe I would, but to a certain extent, I wouldn't just carry it just to show it off.
Go, on the other hand, felt differently.
No, I'm scared of guns.
Gun control is one controversy that everyone has an opinion on, and gun control on campus is no exception. There may not be any laws permitting guns on university campuses at the moment, but if ever there was, we know that Missouri Western would adjust and abide in good faith, heeding with appropriate caution as well. For Griffon Update, this has been Heather Gronke reporting.
Thanks, Heather. That's all good to know if guns were ever allowed on campus.
Agreed. Hey, Amari, what's been going on in Griffon sports?
Well, I guess I have two new sports anchors to join me on my sports segment because you guys were talking about kickball. But after this break, I'll catch us up on what's been going on in the spring sports for the 2017 semester.
One out of every 4 car accidents are caused by texting and driving.
Wait, what did you just say?
You heard me. That's better. Keep your eyes on the road.
Welcome back to Griffon Update Sports. I'm your host, Amari Martin. I hope you all enjoyed your break, and I hope you're ready for some spring sports. To kick it off, the Griffon's men and women's basketball teams are on their way to the MIAA tournament. Women up first, the Griffons are currently 18-6 overall and 10-5 in the MIAA. Western recently faced number 11 Emporia State and upset the Hornets 68-59. Now let's talk about some key players. Dwanisha Tate led all scores with 22 points, followed by Chelsea Dewey with 20 and Aaron Anderson with 11. The girls are headed to Joplin, Missouri this week to face Missouri Southern. In men's basketball, the Griffs are hanging on, hoping to snap their 5-game losing streak after 2 close but upset losses to Washburn and Emporia State. The Griffs are 7-17 overall and 3-12 in conference play. In other sports news, Coach Matt Williamson was announced Missouri Western's new head football coach. Sports reporter Bailey Ketchum spoke one-on-one with him. Check this out.
Missouri, St. Louis area, and was fortunate enough to end up coming to play football here from 93 through 96. Graduated and get my master's degree. Once I got my master's degree, Coach Partridge offered me a job coaching, and and I ended up working here for about 6 seasons, became defensive coordinator, and then from that point moved on to some Division I programs as well too. But obviously it was at Missouri Western through my academic career and my coaching career for almost about 13 years prior to me leaving and then coming back here.
Okay, so what were some of your reactions when you got the call to be the head football coach?
Well, I was really, really excited. It was, kind of a dream job for me to come back. My family's still in St. Louis. My wife's family is in Kansas City, and I got a special place in my heart for Missouri Western. Obviously, being an alumni here, knowing a lot of people and a lot of things around the school and what it has to offer, and it's in my mind, it's a gem, and I was really excited to get the opportunity to come back and be the head football coach.
What are some things that have changed since you've been here, program-wise?
Well, I can tell you the facility we're standing in right now is pretty amazing. When I was here, there's none of the stuff was here, so it's changed dramatically with all the buildings and facilities, the indoor and the strength conditioning program, and the stadium and the scoreboard. It's state of the art. It's one of the best Division II jobs, obviously, in the country, and best facilities, no question, Division II wise in the country. So I'm excited to get started, get rolling, and have a lot of great things to show and a lot of great things to do here. So I'm excited.
What are some of the things you want to do? Like, what would be the new Griffon football standard?
Well, I think passion and energy. I want to bring that to me. I've bring that to the university. That's one thing that, as a coach, that I've always had. I love the energy. That you have to bring energy, and your kids have to play off of you and play off of your energy as well too. So that was one of the major things. And I put together a staff of about 11 other coaches that have the same drive and same energy level that I do. So it actually might be a little bit crazy, to be honest with you, but we're going to have fun, and we're going to run around, and it's going to be a great experience for our student athletes, but as our coaching staff and for the Griffon alumni as well too.
What were some of the reactions you got from the players? Like, what was the energy like when you first came here?
Well, obviously when you come in and you're head coach, they have, what is this guy going to be like and what kind of coaches he is. They've been really good. We're high-fiving each other down the hallway and, hugging each other and bumping each other and having a good time. So they've taken really well to our coaching staff, and we're excited to work with them in the spring.
All right. What excites you most about this off-season and fall coming up?
Really just kind of see what we've got. I know they were in a lot of ball games that were really close, so they've got a great core and nucleus of team, and I'm really excited. And we've watched film, but actually until you get to see them move around and do stuff out on the field and get to coach them, you really don't know. So that's probably what I'm most excited about the most.
Thank you, head coach Matt Williamson. This is Bailey Ketchum.
Hi, so tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Paul. That's short for polyethylene terephthalate. I like long walks on the beach and soda pop.
Me too.
And I'm just looking for someone to spend the next 450 years with. I mean, I'm not decomposing anytime soon.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that type of commitment.
But wait!
Maybe it's time to break it with Paul. Use reusable beverage containers and recycle plastic bottles.
For more information on Griffon Athletics, check out gogriffons.com.
Thanks, Amari. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. You can watch our show on MWSU TV Channel 12.
You can also catch us on the Griffon Update Vimeo and YouTube channels and the Missouri Western Student Media homepage.
For all of us here at Griffon Update, thank you for watching. And catch us on our next episode. How about that?